Today's just ain't a good day for me. I feel short. Turn around and felt my spirit take a couple steps away from me. I couldn't believe I did it. The sin that I committed, I admit it. Confess my faults, I'm sorry, most high, I pray I'm forgiven. Shame on me. I never meant to break your laws. My flesh was weak and made me fall. Repentance is my only chance to witness how to liberate. We don't have much time. We have to get it right this time before you come back and seal the 144. Oh, I feel your judgment drawing and don't know when it's coming, but I know it is my conscience keeps on taunting me. Oh, shame on me. Yeah, I'm the one to blame, accountable for all my actions, causing unnecessary.
The intro coming on YouTube.
Hey, shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Most High in Christ bless. It's also Lemuel. Y'all are tuned in the scripts. This is awkward. I missed that one.
You make me very unhappy, Penny. And you know what happens to children that make their mamas unhappy. I locked it. I knew that would be the first place you tried to hide.
Please, Mama, I promise I won't be a bad girl anymore. Please, I won't be a bad girl anymore. Please, I promise. Please. Oh, no, Mama, please. Please don't do it. Please.
Do you think I made the right decision?
Woo! I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but
Right.
y'all are tuned in the scripts.
Reloaded.
Okay, I guess because it's been a week, brothers are tired this Tuesday evening. AV, get in the spirit.
Right.
Make sure y'all are directing us right. With all praise to the Most High, y'all saw we came in with good times. Good times. Officer, y'all cool?
Yes, sir.
This is your generation. So,
True. All I can do is true.
Hey, so what's Officer to my generation then? Because you sure didn't mention him.
we already went over Black Wall Street, I think.
Damn.
A couple weeks back. So we good there. I'm sorry.
Officer Shamadi
I'm
laughed.
sorry.
He turned his mic off.
He told me, yeah, he could have.
See, if my mic was on, I'd be able to say something.
Is
Oh,
it
man.
on
He
now?
ain't even got a working mic. No, I can't even hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh,
there it
there
is.
we go.
All right.
There we
it
go.
is.
All
There
right.
it is.
So what's going on in this clip, officer?
So this is going into we're gonna deal this week with the past couple of weeks we dealt with the countenance of fatherless sons. This week we're dealing with what happens with women who have no mothers or poor motherhood growing up. So in that clip, that was a classic clip from my era.
Right.
Penny, which was Janet Jackson, was being abused by her mother. And it just shows that that's actually something that happens quite often in our community, and a lot of people don't want to speak about it. And in today's climate, we actually love to speak about what the men are doing to the children.
Bring it up.
But we never show what the women are doing to the children and their part in it. So this show, we're going to focus on that.
Okay.
All praises. All right, so what we got next?
All right, so next we're going to go into a daughter made a confession that she flat out said she hated her mother. Flat out says she hated her mother.
And so, sisters, what I will advise you is before you hear the title, you hear what Officer Yakub just prefaced the show with, before you say anything, before you fix it in your mind to respond, just listen.
Please.
Just listen.
Please.
Don't listen to respond. Just listen to reflect.
Right.
All
Go
praise,
ahead.
All praise.
When does she stop being a mother and just be a woman, in your mind?
The relationship where we were put in a home where that was abusive.
Is that where the heartbreak started?
Yes.
So, I want to hear about it. And for every heartbreak, I want a pin. And I want you to go right back there.
Okay. My mom's first relationship was with my sister's dad. And I was led to believe that he was my father. And he was, in my eyes, until he moved away. And when that happened, I no longer had a father figure in my life.
And what was the heartbreak there?
Not having daddy to come home to.
Yeah, that's hard for any little girl.
Yeah.
At the age of 33, Kim says she still has no idea who her real father is. Okay, and then what happened?
Then she meets another man.
New man.
New man.
Okay.
At that point, I started seeing the separation from her being a mother to her being focused on men.
Okay. New man, what happened?
He would beat me. He would tell her
To beat
to
you?
beat me.
Wait a minute, hold up. Hold the phone, Jesus. You're telling me that your mother brought a man into your home who would tell her to beat you, and she would do it?
She would do it.
Give me a pen. What did that feel like?
It was the most devastating feeling I ever experienced in my life.
So make believe I'm your mother and let it rip. Let it rip.
Mom,
Yeah.
how could you let a man come before your children? Do you realize what that caused inside of me today? He beat you. And you knew he did the same thing to us. My resentment is so strong that I have hatred towards you.
It's okay.
Who wants to say they hate their mother?
Give me a pen. Come on. Dig it deep. Tell me why. I hate my mother because...
I hate my mother because she abandoned me.
Yeah.
I hate my mother because she's living in my house.
Yeah.
And now She only has me to depend on.
And I have to do for her what she didn't do for me.
I had to do for her what she damn sure didn't do for me.
Yeah.
I don't want my mother in my house around my children.
Yeah. She never told me who my daddy
Never
was.
told me who my father was.
And I still don't know.
And I still don't know.
And what does a little girl feel like when she doesn't even know who her daddy is?
Incomplete.
What does a grown woman feel like, beloved, when she doesn't know who her daddy is?
I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And I hate my mother for that.
Yeah. Come here. Come here. You go ahead.
All right. Well, there was a lot in that clip. It was a lot. What y'all got? Y'all bring it out.
Yeah.
Man, it's pretty deep. Go ahead, officer. You got something? Because that's pretty deep.
No, yeah, go ahead.
One thing she said though is that she hate her mom. You know what I mean? And I can understand her resentment and stuff like that. But you shouldn't hate your mom and dad. The scriptures tell you that. Go to Proverbs 20:20. So whatever happens, you still shouldn't hate them. You know what I mean? Because remember they used to tell us back in the day. You know what I mean? Sinful child, his days are numbered or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they was quoting some scriptures in the Bible. You know how people do it. But give me Proverbs 20:20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 20. Whoso curses his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put in an obscure darkness.
So you would be void of lights. That's death. You know what I mean? That's without wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be cursing your mother or your father for that reason, no matter what they done to you. That's all.
So, a lot of the hurt and the pain and the anger that she carries from her youngest age school days up until, and I don't know what her age was or if they even said it, but let's say she's 30. She looked around 30. Those are the residual effects of a woman, like the scripture says, a foolish woman that plucks her own house down with her hands, or like you've heard in the world, she's a home wrecker.
Right.
She's a home wrecker. Get that, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. Let's read about a home wrecker in the Bible.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house.
So the scripture says every wise woman builds a house. For the sisters in the truth that are in the process of repentance, this should be a no-brainer. You are the wise woman that's building your house. You're applying Titus 2 that we'll read later. Proverbs 31, Sirach 26. You're the wise woman that's building your house. But what's the flip side of that?
But the foolish pluck it down with her hand.
This is God talking to black women. And he says, a foolish woman, she plucks her house down with her hands. Right. Not nobody else's hands. Oh, it was him. It was him. It was your daddy. It was your grandpapa. It was your uncle. No. God said you pull your own house down. You wreck your own home with your own two hands.
Right.
How do you do that? By bringing a man into the crib, by dating around. I'm going to just figure it out. I'm pregnant at whatever age she was pregnant at.
Right.
And then she does that enough, she gets pregnant. Okay, cool. You got one child. I don't know if this sister has siblings or not, or if it said it. But let's say she's the only child. Mm-hmm. So now you're the only child, and your mama has other plans where, as opposed to building you up to be a woman,
right?
She said, you're a hindrance. I don't know why you just here. You just taking up AC. That's it.
Right.
I got to go live it up. I got to. They used to say YOLO. I don't know what they say now. Corinne, what they say now?
Man, I don't know, man.
This dude.
Like y'all
18, talking about he don't
right.
Okay. All right. Well, you know that. Okay, YOLO. Y'all know what that means.
Yeah.
You only live once.
Right.
So she trying to live it up, and she bringing all kind of dudes in and out of the crib.
Right.
And knowing that you got a man that's beating the hell out of your daughter,
right?
You as a damn fool, as an ostrich, like the scripture says too, you run with the evil of this dude, and you say, not only am I going to beat it, you beat it too.
Right. Right.
So now at whatever age, let's say 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, 14, however long that relationship lasted, this sister at 30 years old, she carries the residual effects in her mind. Because find me the scripture, Sirach, where it says, basically it says, speech breaks bones or something like that.
Sirach 28.
Read
verse 17.
Yes,
Sirach 28.
yes.
Yeah. The book of Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 17. The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones.
So she heard the man telling mama to beat her.
Right.
So the physical effects of the abuse, getting shook or hit or whatever the case is, that'll heal in time.
Right.
But to hear the words of your mama saying, I'm beating you because he told me to, her hearing him saying, yo, you better beat her, she X, Y, and Z, whatever, those are the residual effects that last.
Right.
The whip, the physical whips, it says the stroke of the whip making marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. Is it talking about your literal tongue will break a bone? No. But the words that proceed out of our mouths, that's what breaks the spirit.
Right.
That's that self-esteem, officer.
That's the self-esteem.
Right.
Broken, and a lot of these daughters are broken based off the foolishness and the home wreckers,
Right.
aka the Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead, officer. I know you had something.
No. Yeah. I mean, there's so much in that. There's a lot in that. But yeah, no, I'm thinking of it.
Hey, can we get Sirach 25 and 16, officer? Because I'm thinking about the things that you, the points you brought up about the residual effects or the lasting effects that all the things she's seen will have on her. Because she opened up the video by saying everything was good. She had a man that she thought was her daddy, but then he left, and then the mom brought another man in, then he left, and then the last man was whooping both of their butts. You know what I'm saying? So let's read Sirach 25 and 16.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman.
So you got to ask yourself the question, why did our forefathers say, hey, I would rather live with a lion or a dragon than to be in a house with a wicked woman? Because when you're in a house with a woman like this, you got to think about the effect that her decisions had on her daughter's life. Because guess what? Because she was a wicked woman, now her daughter don't know how to be a good mom. So her kids going to see the effects of the things that her mom did. It's going to be a continual cycle because of this wicked woman in that house.
Right.
I'm gonna show you something in that too. Go to Sirach 42. You know what I want. Verse 9.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42 and verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth.
So the scripture said, so what I'm talking about is the relationship with the between a father and his daughter. Like, that's a special type of relationship.
Right.
You,
It is.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. Matter of fact, I want to stop right there. What can you speak to the relationship between a father and a daughter? You got a couple more years than me. I got 4 girls.
Yeah.
But the oldest is 8. You know, so I'm still fresh in it.
Right. A relationship between a father and a daughter is one that's special because it's obviously unique, right? You're taking a man who has no idea what it's like to be a woman, and you're taking a young girl who has no idea what it's like to be a man. But there is a level of reverence and respect from birth in a little girl for her daddy, because remember, in their spirits, they know in their spirit that we are the leaders, that we're the kings. And a little girl from the beginning will look at her daddy like he's a king. And every move that he makes has to be a king move, because when he does anything outside of a kingly move, something that her spirit resonates with early on, then he slowly begins to chip away at any level of esteem and any chance of her being a woman who would seek out a kingly man. So that relationship is a real heavy one. There has to be a balance, because when we look in the book of Genesis, the issue with Miriam was her father had never spit in her face, as the scripture says, meaning her father never corrected her. He never put her to shame. He never, made her feel bad about opening her mouth in places she wasn't supposed to. So a father has to be both a disciplinarian and a champion for his daughter. That's the relationship in a father.
I like how you said that, a disciplinarian and a champion for the. So we got to play. You know, it shows you those many hats that us as men have to put on. Because and that's a balance in a skill that does not come natural for us,
right?
Which is the reason why Titus 2 was put in place,
right?
Because that's the guiding light for us as men. For 1 Kings 2, 1 Timothy 3, so on and so forth. So with that being said, read this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 42 and verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep.
You see that? It says, and the care for her taketh away sleep. A good father loses sleep over his daughter. So without knowing the details of their particular relationship, I wonder let's say it was a good man. Again, don't know, but let's go with the assumption that he was a good man, and he's looking to have a relationship with his daughter. Damn, that sucks as a man to not, one, that's your seed,
right,
and two, just spiritually, the relationship between a man and his daughter is like, damn, I don't even get to see the fruits of. Let's say they were together for X amount of time. I don't get to see the fruits of my labor. I don't get to see my daughter grow up and build the house and help build the house of another king, another Lord, another God on the earth. Like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah. Right. Because, I mean, every father deep down inside wants to see that, right? A lot of men stray away and they go with the foolishness of the world. But in reality, no man wants to see his daughter be a thought, wants to see his daughter be an airhead, wants to see his daughter be a lazy bum female laying on the sofa. Like, you want to be as proud of, and especially if you're a man who only has daughters, you want to be able to be as proud of your daughters as you would of a son, but with the understanding that she's not a son. Another man is going to take her on, and you've got to,
So you just try to do your best so she won't be at the strip club swinging on a pole.
Yes,
that's the last thing you want to, or her name won't go renowned through the junior high school as being the fast girl. You know what I mean? You try your best. You lose sleep at night over that thing.
Right.
You know
that's what makes a father lose sleep.
Right. So she won't grow up to be a video vixen.
Right.
Hey, officer, too, thinking about it, when you just go back on the story that she was telling, from the story she told, you could tell the mom was a thought, straight up, because she talked about how she had a dad. She didn't say why the dad left, but the first person she thought was her dad was not really her dad. And then from that man, she went from another man to another man to another man. So going back to y'all point, the daughter gonna see that like, yo, this must be normal. This what mama doing. She was a thought.
Right. Yeah, and the scripture says, as a mother is, so is the daughter. So if that's the example she sees, well, hell, that must be the way to go.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Read on.
The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep. When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Lest she have sex, go ahead.
And being married, lest she should be hated. In her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house.
And how many times do you see that? That's
the common.
That's
the norm.
That's the norm, right?
That's the norm.
Right.
Single mothers, that's the norm. Go ahead.
Lest she should misbehave herself. And when she is married, lest she should be barren.
When she is married, lest she should be barren. The Most High judge her for being a devil in the house.
Right.
Because like Miriam, she didn't have a father there to spit in her face, and discipline her, and make sure that he trained up his child in the way that she should go.
Right.
Okay, so we can go ahead and play this.
Hey, let me touch on something with that. Yeah, because that's one of those things that keeps the sleep. Like, a man has a wife first, and then that wife is supposed to be after his mind, right? So the reason that he loses sleep is because he's having to make sure that that daughter has a mind like her mother. If the mother's mind is after the father's, then you're still dealing with the young mind and the young spirit having to bring her up, knowing that she's going to make some childish mistakes. So you're losing sleep because you know that her mind has not yet been programmed to your mind, and you're losing sleep because you're seeing the youthful things, you know, that she does against what you're teaching. And that's a worrisome thing. A daughter coming home talking about she pregnant at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hell, if she 20 and she ain't married, is an issue with a daddy.
Go on now, get.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, with a real
Right.
daddy, even if she's 20 in college, because that's not what you didn't create her for that. And never once as a little girl did you ever look at her and think that she would gap her legs for some little boy to put a baby in her
Right.
before she was married, because you raised her saying that's not the way it's supposed to go. So
I wanna turkey back right off of that. A part of the losing sleep, and then it goes into this is the Bible is the book for black people.
yes, it is.
Because what other race, what other nation of people on the earth deal with single parent homes? I'm talking about on a mass scale.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No,
That's
on
us.
a mass. Yeah, that's
On
us.
a mass scale.
That's
Yeah,
us.
that's us.
On a national scale. That's us.
Right.
So when we talk about losing sleep, for us, for the men, we're thinking legacy and we're thinking generations down the line.
Right.
Sisters aren't necessarily thinking generations down the line because they're really just carrying the seed. For us, it's our seed.
Right.
You know, numbers 1:18, your pedigree by the house of your family.
father.
Y'all know I'm butchering
Right,
that.
right,
Declaring
right.
pedigree by the
Declaring
house
the
of your father.
pedigree
Yeah.
by the house of the fathers.
Right.
Of the fathers. So for us, we're thinking, damn, if this sister, my daughter at 17 years old, comes to me and says she's pregnant, what happens generations down the line if we're starting now with another single parent household?
Mm-hmm.
If it gets to that point.
Mhm.
Damn, now my great grandchild, now my grandchild
Right.
has single mother. Who knows if they grow up? You have a boy and he grows up. I pass. There's no other men in his life, and he grows up like one of these other sodomites.
Right. Right.
Damn, what if I have a daughter and she follow a granddaughter, and she follows in the same footsteps as you?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you never get married,
Right.
or if you don't marry the baby's father.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, I'm losing sleep now thinking about my four. I'm like, oh,
Exactly.
shit, if
Right.
shoot. Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah. Because now you haven't gotten here yet. You haven't gotten here yet. I'm gonna tell you, it is and I'm gonna touch on some personal without putting too much out there. It is an amazing thing to be a father and watch your baby go from being a bobblehead spitting up milk to suddenly her mother is having to teach her about her cycle. And you're having to deal with, a young woman in the house dealing with her cycle, and you're starting to see the emotions change, and you know what I mean? And as a father, you have to mentally prepare yourself for that. Well, not only when that change happens, but now you start to see, what old folks call buds start to come up on the chest,
You got to explain that because I ain't never heard that before.
when her chest begins to develop.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah,
Come
she-
on. Yeah,
Hey, I was thinking something totally different. He ain't right. Dudes, they be like, your chest getting big, man, you getting puffed up. I ain't know where you was going with it.
But a father, those are things that a father honestly should care. Many times there's women that say, well, that's not your business. No, that is my business.
Right.
This is my child, and she belongs to me until she belongs to another man. Period.
You know what's not to cut you off, officer, but going back to the menstrual cycle, that thing is starting early, between the ages of 10 now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's growing up pretty fast. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the food or what.
Yeah, it is. It
but
is.
that's being common these
Yeah.
days.
It's they call it premature pubescence. I think is the title for it.
Hey, officer, can I get a script real quick to back up what you were saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rock 7:24. Because you made a point.
Yeah, because I could go forever on that.
You made a point about, yo, this is my daughter. It is my business. You know what I'm saying? When she started to go through these things. And let's go back to the article. Because remember, the sister said that one of the mama's boyfriends was beating her, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why it was important for her to have a father. Read what you got.
The book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 24. Hast thou daughters?
So any righteous man, if you got daughters, read.
Have care of their body.
So that's your job to have a care of your daughter's body. You care when she get her period, because you know when she get her period, that's when hormones start coming.
Right.
Dudes start looking on her. What you say? She getting flowers on her chest or something like that.
Buzz, her chest starts buzzing.
Yeah. We'll go with that. But her chest start popping up. The Bible say you supposed to have a care of her body. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
And show not thyself cheerful toward them.
And you gotta have a real father to not show yourself cheerful, because she might be freaking twerking on Instagram or something.
Right.
And then, you know, mamas, we seen videos, mamas will come in and laugh. And hell, today's mamas will probably twerk with them.
Nope.
A real daddy, what's that?
Right.
Hey, do that meme again? I mean, do
Nope.
that thing? Nope, exactly. A real daddy ain't gonna do that.
Right.
But like you read in the video, the stepfather or the boyfriend was beating the daughter.
Right.
And not having a care for her body.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Because the decisions or the actions of the mother.
Right.
Hey, jump down to verse 25, officer, real quick, because I'm going to go back to a point that she had in that earlier video.
Verse 25. Marry thy daughter.
And so, look, she found out that wasn't even her real dad.
Right.
So she probably, as a young girl, probably thought about her so-called father, or who she thought was her father, walking her down the aisle.
Right.
Now, she heard about that. That's
Right.
why she took that pen when that happened and put it in that, you know what I
Right.
mean? Because that hurt her right there. She didn't have a father no more. Read.
And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
So if you a dad, you like, phew, man, I finally got her married to a good guy.
Right.
You know, we lose sleep over that. We don't want
Right.
our daughters marrying no thug or no abusive guy.
Right.
Read.
But give her to a man of understanding.
I want my daughter to marry somebody in the
That's
truth.
right.
Right.
Right. Right. All praises. All right, let's go to the next video. Toxic relationship with my mother. So this sister is giving it, well,
I didn't have none.
no, okay. So this sister is going into the toxicity or the major issues that she had in a relationship with her mother.
Growing up, we did not whatsoever have like any type of bond. Like, she didn't talk to me, really. She didn't like take me on mother-daughter dates. I mean, we didn't go on mother-daughter dates. We didn't go shopping. She didn't take me out to go get my nails done. We didn't have just like a mommy-daughter time. Like,
All right, hold on,
just
let's
sat.
pause it right there. I remember why now. You was like, what you got? I didn't remember. But she bring up all the points that her mom didn't do. Right. If her mom is not teach, because you remember when we read Deuteronomy 6, tell you to teach them as thou goest on that way.
Right.
She explaining that her mom didn't do that. So if her mom not teaching her how to be a young lady, who you think she learning it from?
Right.
Cardi B,
Right.
Love and Hip Hop, so on and so forth, because the mama not teaching that.
Right.
And that's just something you see today a lot, especially with sisters that's my age. The daddies leave, but the mamas don't leave, and now that they stuck with the child, they deflect that anger on the kid by neglecting them.
Right.
So that's why the scriptures say, in Sirach 22:9, I don't want to butcher it. Can we get it real quick?
Yeah.
Let's get that. Because this is what you see a lot of times in the black community. Whoever got it.
The book of Sirach, chapter 22 and verse 9. If children live honestly and have wherewithal, they shall cover the baseness of their parents. But children, being haughty, through disdain and want of nurture.
So that's what the sister was explaining, that she had lack of nurture. Her mother was not nurturing her. Right. That's something that you see in a black household with moms and dad all the time. Just because you in a house does not make you a good parent.
Right.
You actually got to be nurturing these kids.
That's right.
That's my point on that.
My day was and stuff like that. She didn't do any of that. She didn't really have the talk with me. Kind of pretty much had to figure it out on my own. She
Hold on, my bad. Pause it again. What do y'all think it means when she said she had to figure it out on her own?
She went and did it.
She done got out there and did something she ain't had no business.
Exactly. And she didn't, she didn't figure it out the first time. So she probably tried multiple times with multiple different dudes.
Yeah, and probably messed up and got pregnant.
She never ever told me she loved me. As long as I have been living in a household with my mom has never, ever told me she loved me. And you know how when you have kids, you want to nurture them, you want to hug on them, you want to kiss them, you want to tell them you love them, you want to make them feel wanted. My mom did the opposite.
Pauses. It's all right. All right. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
I looked up the definition of nurture. I'm gonna read the verb real quick. It says the care for and encouragement care for and encourage the growth or development of. Excuse me. The noun, the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. So it comes down to the question for mothers: what do you want your daughters to grow up as? What do you want them to develop into? How you deal with them from young heavily determines what they will be in their adult years.
Right.
Are you developing them into righteous daughters of Sarah? Let's use in the world first. Are you developing them and nurturing them to become productive citizens in society?
Right.
Or are you developing them and nurturing them to become thoughts, hoes, whores, jump-offs, whatever other derogatory term you can think of.
Right.
Throat babies.
Throat goats.
Yeah.
Oh my
throat
God.
goats. That's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, throat goats.
It just goes
new.
down out here.
Yeah. Where these cats been at? Where they been in life?
Hey, I learned that from him.
Oh God!
Hey, don't point the finger at me.
But yeah.
So it says the care for and encourage the growth or development of. You want so let's convert it into the truth now.
That's heavy.
Are you developing righteous daughters of Sarah, or are you nurturing and are you developing black people, black women?
Right.
Daughters of Sarah understand basic things like that, obviously their nationality, who they are, they know history. They know, most importantly, they understand their role, their rightful role in the house. Oh, we gonna go there.
Bring it out.
They understand based on your example, the example of how you deal with your husband in the home.
Right.
You are developing them into help meets.
Right on.
Or are you developing them into nigger women?
Right.
Bring it out.
Home wreckers.
Right.
They're looking at your example, or there you go. Thank you.
That's
Or an
right.
ostrich.
An ostrich.
Because they're looking at your example of how you deal in the home.
Right.
That's what they're looking at. You had something else.
Yes. No. No. What you're saying is right on line with what I was thinking. So all praises.
All praise to the Most High. So, sisters, when the scripture read it one more time. 21 and 9.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it. It says, not 21 and 9. What was it?
22 and 9.
22 and 9.
22 and 9.
If children live honestly, and I'm gonna read verse 10. But children being haughty through disdain and want of nurture, meaning lack of nurture, do strain the nobility of their kindred. They gonna look at your daddy and be like, and your mama and be like, what the hell was wrong with them?
Right.
For you to come out like this.
Right.
Damn.
Right. Who child is that?
Who raised you?
Right. Right.
Who was that it on this? Oh yeah. Okay, so we got an article.
Yes, sir.
All right, so fatherless daughters, how growing up without a dad affects women. Miss Myers grew up with a dad who was physically present but emotionally absent. She numbed her pain. She numbed her pain with food and antidepressants.
And that's what we see a lot of times with women. A lot of times you see women, especially young girls, all of a sudden blow up, and then they telling you it's a thyroid issue. No, for real, you're masking something. For real, there is a depression there, and you're using food as your drug. You know what I mean? To satisfy or try to satisfy what's going on inside of you.
Hold on. Go back to that picture. What happens when dads don't love their daughters? Growing up without a dad shapes who you are. It took 6 decades, but I can finally utter a huge truth that caused me tremendous shame and sadness. My father didn't love me. I never spoke that deep, dark secret, but it was always festering inside of me. It manifested itself in many ways throughout my life as I struggled with a food obsession, low self-esteem, social anxiety, and depression. I'm thinking about it. I know y'all watch Kevin Samuels.
Right.
How many of the sisters, you know, he played a little sound.
Right.
How many of those sisters, this is just in my head, I know a couple of them have mentioned that they, you know, didn't have fathers in the home. But, you know, in my head, I'm thinking of all the sisters that have come on the show that he's played that sound for, how many of them, A, grew up without fathers? And of that percentage that grew up without a father, how many of them found, scroll back up, how many of them, their lack of self-esteem and because they weren't shaped, how did it manifest in food obsession? To where now they 22, 25, single, you ain't got nothing else to do but blow up to 200 pounds.
Right.
5'2".
Right.
Damn.
Muffin top.
Right.
Just, oh, God.
Hey, officer. It's a part in there that said I never spake that deep, dark muffin top. But it's...
Anyway, yeah.
No, when she had them tights on and them real
Just
tights,
hang out the
you know what I
front.
mean? And that tight shirt just hanging over them.
Why why do sisters do that? Sisters, call in. Call in, please. Why do y'all do that?
Nope.
Hey, if you was doing that before you came in the truth, call in, man.
Lord have mercy.
So now when you see that now, you're gonna be like, yeah, her daddy didn't love her. that's what's gonna come in mind. I gotta start loving y'all kids, man.
Okay, so daddy is usually the motivator. Like, he's the strenuous motivator, right? Like, you know, mama motivates you, but in a different way. Daddy's the one like, nah, get out there, da-da-da.
Right.
So a lot of the girls that you see that are athletic is because daddy was the one that pushed them.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, daddy showed them, hey, look, you know, you this is how you do it.
That's
You know, you got to go do. Daddy was the one that pushed athletic daughters. You very seldom find sisters that, and I'm not pushing nobody in sports, Israel, don't get wicked. But you very rarely find sisters who played sports because they just started off with their mothers.
Look at Venus and Serena.
Right. Daddy was the one that put it out there. So that fitness comes because daddy was the one that urged them to get out and do something fit-worthy.
Physical.
Physically, physical. Right.
Yep. So it says, it manifested in many ways throughout my life as I struggled with food obsession, low self-esteem, social anxiety, and depression. Whether a dad was present but rejecting like mine or walked away from his fatherly duties entirely, his absence leaves an indelible mark on a daughter's psyche as she grows into adulthood. So there's a lot of sisters that don't know how to adult that still carry very childish mindsets at 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years old because of daddy issues.
Right.
His absence leaves an indelible mark on a daughter's psyche as she grows into adulthood. What does the research say about women who grow up with fathers who didn't love them? Daughters who were never daddy's little girl. Below, you'll find 6 ways a daughter may be affected by an uninvolved dad.
So that was the whole purpose of this, is these 6 ways, you know, to see how a fatherless daughter grows up. You know, what a lot of research is showing, you know, a large number of our women deal with.
Hey, officer, before we read the 6 ways, earlier up in the article, she said she never spoke it out loud, but it eventually manifested in her. So that's something you see a lot of times, because kids, when we don't just go around saying, hey, man, I ain't got no daddy, I'm sad as hell. You know what I'm saying? And manifesting your actions. So I'm sure that you see, I ain't seen them yet, but the 6 ways is probably stuff, the way she expressed that without saying it.
Yep. Go ahead. Oh, did we want to scroll down on this?
No, this is one of the.
Oh, was that it?
This is one of the ways.
Oh, this is one. Okay, number one.
This is one of the ways.
Fathers provide their daughters with a masculine example. They teach their children about respect and boundaries and help put daughters at ease with other men throughout their lives. So if she didn't grow up with a proper example, She will have less insight and should be more likely to go for a man that will replicate the abandonment of her father.
Mm-hmm.
She would go with that thug guy.
Right.
That rough guy, that roughneck.
Right.
That abusive guy.
Hey, it's a part that said the father puts the daughter at ease when she around men, meaning she ain't the sister that's all up in brothers' faces yelling and stuff. Because her daddy was wrong. She knew better.
Yeah. Another one of those
Oh,
ways.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because with a father, you get that attention from men.
Exactly.
Apart from that, you're looking for that same attention from a man, and you gonna get it.
Yeah.
Right.
But we ain't got the same intentions
Right.
of what you was looking for from your daddy.
Right.
Bad intentions.
Yeah.
Well, one of those things is okay. So when she's a little girl, right? If daddy is outside with his boys, with his guys, and they fixing on the car or just whatever they doing, she learns very quickly that I'm not allowed, or I should not feel comfortable being out here hanging with them.
Right.
She learns shamefacedness naturally.
Right.
So, like you say, now she's not in everybody's face, and then she can grow up being a woman that says, okay, when my husband's friends, when his brothers come over, I know simply to come out and say, hey, does anybody need some water? Does anybody need some snacks? I put it out, and then I'm headed to the back, or I'm headed somewhere else. Yeah, to do something else.
Yep.
They understand that.
That goes back to Miriam with not being her father not spitting in her face.
Right.
Her not understanding how to deal amongst the men. You don't deal in men's affairs like that.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And that's something, like y'all said, that has to be taught by a father, because naturally girls try to do that. Because like even like if I had brothers over, my daughter would try to come in the room, but I have to tell her, no, get out, go in there with the sisters.
Right.
But imagine if she kept coming in the room and nobody ever corrected it. Then she feel like it's okay as she get older to be in that situation.
Right.
So like y'all saying, it has to be taught.
But who reinforces it, though? Because the father is the one, right, with that look or with that tone that establishes it. But who is the reinforcer?
The mother. And
The
not only is
mother.
she the reinforcer, but the mother got to want her to be around, too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It says fatherless daughters have self-esteem issues. According to Deborah Maskovich, an author and divorce consultant, kids often blame themselves when dad leaves the home and becomes less involved in their lives. When they aren't given an explanation about why dad left, they make up their own scenario and jump to the conclusion that it's their fault and that they're unlovable.
Hey, hold up, officer. It said when they not giving an explanation about why dad left. Who's supposed to be there to give the explanation?
You know she gonna tell it her side.
Right,
Right.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. So if she tell her side, what is the daughter going to grow up thinking?
Oh yeah, her
My
dad
daddy
hates her.
with the SH.
Exactly, and no other black man is
And
either.
no other black man is.
Oh man.
It says this is especially true for daughters. Countless studies have shown that fatherlessness has an extremely negative impact on daughters' self-esteem. Her confidence in her own abilities and value as a human being can be greatly diminished if her father isn't there. Academically, personally, professionally, physically, socially, and romantically, a woman's self-esteem is diminished in every setting if she did not form a healthy relationship with her father. I want to go back to Serena and Venus, just to give y'all some carnal examples, some or more popular example of the relationship with the father and the daughter, and how hell it can catapult your self-esteem up to the point of, and hell, you know, obviously once you become an adult, as we see in Serena, you start to lose your damn mind. And I don't know what the hell happened between her and her daddy to where she feel like she can marry a Pillsbury doughboy.
Man, did you see her
But
husband?
whatever.
Did you see her husband? I was like, man, really?
Man,
He must got some money or something.
man,
You know he
yeah,
got money.
he do.
You know he got
Oh,
money.
okay. Well, that,
You know he
no,
got
okay.
money.
Well, yeah, I understand now.
Yeah,
Man.
does.
I still don't understand, bro. It's just some things.
but
For real.
Right.
that
Money ain't
shows you-
everything, man.
Yeah,
Right.
no. It says it shapes. So going back to, so it shape. I can't think of any academic examples right now off top. Unfortunately, we'll look it up. We'll have it next week, Lord, as well. But it just shows you how the relation. Now imagine if that was flipped and Daddy wasn't in the house. Where would Serena and Venus be?
It's a perfect point, officer. Perfect point. And they grew up in Compton, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably would have been like two Precious sisters walking around here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Serena would have been like Precious Jr. and the other would have been like
Serena would have been built like her
Precious Sr.
husband.
Right, would have been like her husband.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I mean, you never know because their father was he was there. He was there. I mean, every step of the way.
Every practice.
Every step of the way. Every
match,
practice. Right.
Every Wimbledon, every whatever the other ones are. Yeah, he was there.
And they only navigated South Central because of what he taught them.
Wow.
You know, imagine being two young so-called black girls in Compton playing tennis.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Right. Black girls playing tennis.
Right. That's a
so
good point.
Very important to have a father in your household.
Go to the second point.
And the mother as well, though. The mother as well.
Yeah.
Because after a rough day, they gonna need some nourishing and suckling. You know what I mean?
Right,
I mean nourishing. You know.
Right.
Sustenance. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Substance.
He still said it wrong. That's all right. Daughters with absent fathers struggle to build and maintain relationships.
Mm-hmm.
According to Pamela Thomas, author of Father's Daughters, a book that examines how women cope with the loss of a father via death or divorce, women who grew up with absent dads find it difficult to form lasting relationships. Because they were scarred by their dad's rejection of them, they don't want to risk getting hurt again. Consciously or unconsciously, they avoid getting close to people. They may form superficial relationships in which they reveal little of themselves and put very little effort into getting to know others. They may become promiscuous as a way of getting male attention without becoming too emotionally involved.
And they go to what he said. He said before promiscuous, he said they engage in superficial relationships.
Right. Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Exactly.
Right.
So many boys she go through.
Hey, I was looking at an article when we was doing research for stuff for the show, and it was an article about a pimp, and he said the way that he find his prospects to do his work is by girls, and one of the main ways is girls that didn't grow up with fathers, the girls that needed attention and things like that.
Because they more gullible.
Right. Yeah. So that's the superficial relationship.
Right. Exactly.
He becomes a father figure to him. You know, that's
exactly.
one of the terms used, daddy. That's what he becomes.
Damn, that's right. Yep.
Yep. Now, another thing about this in this first piece, dealing with this, a lot of those girls who can't seem to ever get along with other females is usually due to a lack of fatherhood, because a father is the first one. Us as men, when you're a little boy and you can't get along with other little boys, you always coming in the house crying. Oh, they doing this, they picking on me, you know, nobody likes me, this and that.
And get on
what
back
your daddy
outside.
gonna tell you?
Get your butt back outside.
Because you acting like a what?
A girl.
You acting like a girl.
We can't say the real word, but
right. But daddies tell daughters that same thing. Hey, look, man, you need to learn to let some of that stuff, because really he don't want to hear it from her. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to hear it from her, but that's just that extra little piece that she needs that adds something to her. Like, okay, maybe I am acting stupid. Maybe I am overreacting to this. Maybe I could get along if I just let some of it roll off my back. So fathers are there to establish that in daughters as well as sons.
Right.
Let some of it roll off of you. You ain't gotta argue, about everything. And
right.
So that's one of those unstable relationships.
So it says they may form superficial relationships in which they reveal little of themselves and put very little effort into getting to know others. They may become promiscuous as a way of getting male attention without becoming too emotionally involved. That goes back to what we read in Sirach 42 about the fathers not wanting your daughters to be promiscuous, trying to get male attention. I'm the only attention you need right now till you get married. Until I vet your husband, vet this dude to make sure that he's right for you.
Absolutely.
Go to Sirach 26:10.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
So the mother and a father in the household, they want to make sure that they keep their daughters from being a hoe. When I say promiscuous, that's too big for black people. They may become a hoe as a way of getting male attention. In order to avoid becoming a hoe, the father you better, where you going? Where you think you going?
Facts.
What did you talking about? You going with who?
Right.
I don't know her. I don't. And you damn sure him. You lost your
right.
Exactly.
What?
Right.
You crazy. I
Right.
wish my 2-year-old would.
Right.
Y'all know she 2, but you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, Layla, where you going?
Hey, you know what, officer? That's why the father, when he's in the house, he's always like, go ask your daddy, can you spend the night over such and such house? No, you can't spend the night over there. Tell him come over here. She want to spend the night.
Right. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah.
Because now you bring it.
Bring it
All
out.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here
That's
we
the
go.
reality. Go ahead, officer.
Do we need to play the violin?
For you men, no, don't play the violin. This ain't no. This is exhortation.
Bring it out.
For you men, if there's an inkling of doubt when it comes to your daughter, well, let me say this first. Let me take a step back. For me, I'm probably safely speaking for y'all. Y'all ain't having your daughters at the crib where there's other boys, especially older boys.
Hell
no.
Damn sure not spending the night.
Right.
Okay, so I can safely speak for y'all.
Bring it
when I
out,
say-
please.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
bring it out.
All right, cool. For the fathers, this goes into the father losing sleep over his daughters. If there's an inkling of doubt in your mind as far as, where they going or who they stand with, whatever the case is, don't let they behind go.
That's right.
Right.
And that's it.
Facts.
Because you the head of the house.
That's right.
And that's your decision to make.
Right.
And women always talking about, well, I just want her to, enjoy herself, and for them to have fun.
Right.
Man, they 10. What the hell?
Right.
They ain't gonna. You think 2 hours? This 2 hours of fun that I didn't have. Oh my God! I just don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life.
Right.
Are you serious?
Right.
Brothers, I'm telling you, man.
Oh, pray. Hey, officer, tell them to call in. Hey, we ain't got no phone. I know some sisters want to call in.
Hey, what's the number?
Right.
Make sure y'all call in. Post the number on the YouTube page too.
It's
214-272-0400.
There you go.
Call
Say it
in.
one more time.
214-272-0400. Call in.
0400.
That's
Again, for you brothers, you men, you fathers, and I know we're talking about those sisters, the mothers, but listen, y'all are the first line of defense for your daughters.
That's right.
So if something happens, it's like, where was your daddy?
Right.
Where was the father?
Yeah.
Because not every time, and I'm really trying to be nice. And I'm trying to
Bring it out.
because you cannot always trust the discretion of the mother.
Right.
That's right. Facts.
Right.
Some women, they just got ostrich tendencies.
Right.
Bring it out.
They may not be a
Bring
full-blown
it out.
ostrich, but
Right.
they got
Bombs
ostrich tendencies.
Right.
We need
Right.
bombs.
And you have got to be the first line of defense
Right.
to make sure that
That's
they do
facts.
not ruin the self-esteem or damage the self-esteem of the daughters because of the ostrich tendencies.
Right.
I'm being nice.
I hear you.
Right.
Because of the ostrich tendencies of the mother.
Right.
So I'm gonna leave that there before I'm
Right
gonna just
on.
leave that right there.
No,
Praise.
but that's 100%. Here's another thing when it comes to daddies. Daddies are usually the ones more prone to be honest about what they see in their kids.
Facts. That's facts.
100. Like you said, mamas will coddle the child. They don't want to be 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a man sees his son go in his mother's room and walk out with her high heels on, as a matter of fact, in the world, back when I used to watch the TV show, what was it? The Lions. Taraji P. Henson. And what's
Empire?
Empire. The TV, the show Empire.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Jesse Smollett, as Dave Chappelle liked to say, the character that he played? There was an episode where they showed how those tendencies began to develop.
Oh, when he was young.
When he was young.
Right.
And Lucius saw the boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lucius, he went harder than I think should have. But he took the boy, snatched him up, and took him outside.
We're going to have to pause. We got a caller.
You got to finish this story.
We got a caller. Don't forget. Don't lose your place.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Shalom caller. What's your name, question, or comment?
Shalom, leadership. Most High in Christ bless.
Hey, Most High in Christ bless.
Yes. So I have a comment.
Well, what's your name? Where you from?
I'm sorry. My apologies. It's Sister Elishua from the DC camp.
Okay, all praises, all praises. What you got, sis?
So I can relate to this completely. I'm in here and I just had my daughters. They just got home from work and I had them come in here and listen. I said, now y'all realize what I told y'all. And this was biblical. I didn't even know, back, in the world. They would ask me, oh, can I spend the night at somebody's house? Right. No, I'm like, is a man there? Is there a dad there? Do they have brothers? No. You can have 17 friends come spend the night. But no, no ma'am, no sir. And I'm still to this way like, oh, can certain people come? No, everybody is not your friend. And you don't know what the things that they are allowed to do. They try and come and influence you. And especially now, I said, they come on Friday, they're going to eat some sandwiches. They're going to obey every rule of according to the Most High God up in this house. So if they're not ready for that, you need to put out a disclaimer, because what they do, I don't know what it is, or not what they don't do. They're not going to do it up in here. And you're definitely not going to do what anybody else does.
That's right.
All praise to the Most High. That's the type of example that sisters need to hear.
That's exactly.
That right there.
All praise.
I'm like, oh, well, you don't choose your friends. You don't let your friends choose you. You choose your friends. And everybody's not your friend. Everybody is not your friend, People can use you because you're the pretty one and they're hot in the behind and they want to try to infiltrate and do certain stuff, try to manipulate. There will be no manipulation at this address. No.
Right.
All praise to the Most High.
Right. Yes,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All praise to the Most High. You have younger daughters?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I say you have younger daughters?
My oldest daughter, she's 19, but she still lives at home with me, and then I have a 13-year-old daughter.
Okay. All praise. And guess what? They see that example, and that carries with them. And guess what? When they have daughters, it's gonna be the same thing.
Right.
It's gonna be, because they're gonna realize at 25 years old, 30 years old, they're gonna realize, yo, mama was protecting me from a lot of BS that could have happened.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. That's right.
She protected me from a lot of foolishness. So I'm gonna make sure I carry that same thing for my daughters. What was you gonna say?
Me? Oh, I wasn't saying anything. I was just in agreement with you.
Oh, okay. All praise to the Most High. Well, we definitely thank you for your call. Thank you.
Hey, go to Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 1:8. Proverbs 1:8.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 8. My son,
or my daughter,
hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother.
And forsake not the teachings of your mother. See, that sister's trying to teach her kids the right way to go. You know what I mean? Because they don't know.
Right.
They don't know. They don't know what can happen to them. All they see is kids over there want to have fun, whatever. But the mother sees the ins and out of things,
Right.
And so just like a dad should be in the house to protect the mother and the daughter.
Right.
So yeah, all praise for that sister.
Right. Hey, officers, I'm thinking about what y'all talking about, going to like your friend's house and stuff. I remember I had a friend. I was probably like 13 or 14. And his mom was an Edomite. He was Jake, but his mom was an Edomite. And I remember if we ever wanted to do something we knew our parents would want to do, we would all go to this brother's house.
Right.
Because we knew his mama didn't give a damn. Everything was going. I can't go into detail.
Right.
We was probably 13. Everything went on at that house.
Yeah.
But we just go back to what you were saying, yo.
Yeah.
If you got a doubt, inkling of doubt in your mind, then don't let it happen.
Don't let it happen.
Because we know what we did when we was 13, 14, 15. So why do we think our kids is going to be any different in a time that's 10 times worse?
Right.
But that's how daddies think, though.
Right.
The average mom will be like, well, maybe.
She'll say times done changed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Times
times
changed.
done changed, right.
Yeah. No.
It's little nickel still.
Right. That sounds like that knock language from South Africa, brother.
And sister, we got another caller, and don't forget your story.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Shalom caller, what's your name, question, or comment? Hey, Shalom caller, what's your name, question, or comment?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. What's your name, question, or comment?
My name is Denise, and my comment is based off the video y'all showed of the sister.
I'm sorry,
her mom.
I'm sorry, it's coming in real muffled. Is that us, Jonathan, or? Okay, that's the
Can you
call.
hear me now?
Okay, it's a little bit better.
Yes, so my story is somewhat like that. Like the way my mama explained to me how my biological dad, she said I didn't like him. She said I used to cry all the time, but it was another man, which is my brother daddy. She said I liked him. And he became my dad or whatever. But that example of a father figure, I hold that dearly because the things I've been through, it made me fearful to have daughters because I didn't want them to go through what I went through. And I have two daughters, not two sons. I have an even set. But I only been in the truth for like a year. So I still had that fear of my daughters, because especially how I got my first daughter, I got raped at 17. At 16, that's how I had my oldest. And then I got married. That's how I had my other 3 kids. So my other 3 kids is based off of being married. But I still have that fear of having a daughter and them enduring what I went through. And my kid, their father, he's not right all the way. So it's very scary. Like having daughters based off my past. It's something I never wanted. I always wanted boys. I never wanted girls. And for me to, my first child to be a girl and my third child to be a girl is very hard. And then I found out my so-called daddy at 20 was not my dad. He told me he wasn't my dad. He knew he wasn't my dad. And come to find out, my God dad was my biological dad.
Yeah. Okay.
So
go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
it made me it made me mad because I hate that I was lied to. I feel like it's like everybody hushed. I feel like everybody knew, and they never wanted to tell me. Like it was I take it if it wasn't for me about to be married or whatever at that time, I probably would have never knew that he wasn't my dad.
Right.
And his family was really messed up. Like I got mentally, physically abused. I've been molested a couple times by his family members. That's what made me not want to have daughters because I was scared that would happen to them.
Right. Hey, sis,
and now.
Sorry to hear all of that that happened to you. But how long have you been in the truth now, sis? Or are you with a camp?
A year. I'm with Detroit camp.
You with the Detroit camp? Okay, all praises. So, sis, there is a lot of guidance there in Detroit that you can get, right? So
It's amazing.
Okay, one of the main things you should do is make sure that you are staying in contact and getting scriptures to help build you up past that, because that happened to you at 16. We know that can and will break a woman's spirit. But because now you have young ones that you're raising, you're gonna have to adapt a strength that you don't know is inside of you in order to give it to them, so that they don't live based on your experience. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
I was trying to work on what was going on in my present before I tried to work on my past, because I was told to not look at my past, just look at my present and my future.
Absolutely.
So that's what I be trying to do, but sometimes it pops up in my mind.
Yeah, and it will, sis. It will, because that's something that mentally sticks with you. Like that's something that's dug deep down inside of you. But for as deep as it's dug down inside of you, you've got to let the spirit in more and more to go in to flush out that you've dealt with from your past. Because you've got children now that you're responsible with, especially daughters, and that first daughter who you're most fearful about, you're gonna have to purge that out of you so that you don't project that spirit onto her. She has nothing to do with that. So you're going to have to really work at purging that out of you so that it does not become her reality based on your reality.
Right.
All right? All right.
Yes.
But, hey, sis, we appreciate you calling in. Most High in Christ bless. We'll pray for you, sis.
Most High Christ bless.
Hey, officer, let me read one script for the sister while she's hanging up. All
right.
Go to 2 Corinthians 5:17. Because the sister talked about a lot of stuff that happened in her past, you know what I mean? You know, of course, we all been through stuff. But here's what the scriptures say.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17. Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
You are a new creature. You're brand new. You fresh. You got the new car smell now.
Right.
Read.
That's right.
Old things are passed away.
Said old things are passed away, right?
Behold, all things are become new.
So all things have become new. So you're a new creature. You got to put on the fruits of the spirit now. You got to start doing that. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what happened in the past. Just move forward. That's all.
Right. And then also too, for any other sisters that may have been through that, y'all job is now that y'all been through that is to make sure that y'all daughters don't go through the same thing.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you was in that situation because your mama was dealing with men she wasn't married to, make sure that you don't put your daughters in that same situation because now you know the truth. So the Lord gave you the keys to prevent that from happening to your kids.
And she said that was one of the things she was fearful of. You know what I mean? She was fearful of that thing. But you know, now you're around counselors, you in the truth. Now things is different. Things are different now. So just stay in the spirit, stay prayed up. You know what I mean? Is keep your counseling and keep attending the Sabbaths.
That's right.
All praises. So the sister Abijah on YouTube said we could play outside in the yard with the girls, but we better not go in the house with but we better not go into the house that had boys.
Right.
Sister Deborah said my sons are 42, 40, and 38. Growing up, they never stayed the night at any friend's house. Not one. Nor at my grandbabies.
All praise. That's a tough thing, man. That's a tough thing. Yeah, it's a real tough thing.
Right.
Hey, you want? So let me finish out what happened with Lucius. So Lucius, when he saw his son in those shoes, the first thing he did was yoke the boy up and handle him rough. The mama tried to defend the boy. She tried to coddle the situation. And then Lucius, he pushed it to the limit. You know, he went above and beyond, but he took the boy outside and dumped the boy in the trash can. Right. Because he kept going through scenarios like that. So he saw in the son something that the mother was not willing to accept that she saw. And when you see that spirit on a boy, a mother cannot play with that with her son. You can't think that's cute. You can't, you know, I would even, if somebody asked me, now I'm going to be one, if you see that on your son, do not let that boy have long hair. Do not let that boy have long hair.
Hey, officer, anything, we got to call her also. We got to call her.
We got to call
her. But everything you're saying, officer, it keep reminding me of D. Wade and his son.
Right.
Man. He's reminding me of that. But, you know, I guess it's for another show.
Yeah,
we got a caller?
We got a caller.
Hey, Shalom, caller. What's your name, question, or comment?
Shalom, Most High Christ bless leadership and family.
Most High Christ bless. What was your name?
My name is Sister Kaya. I'm from Connecticut, and I just want to say thank you for this class. Because my dad passed like a couple years ago, and by you talking about it, it's so true to have a father. I was blessed to have a great father, a good dad. You know, it's just we do need dads to guide you, because he taught me a lot of things when I was younger. First things he taught me, especially when I became a teenager, you cannot do the same thing men do. Your name will be singing in the street. And he told me to keep my head in the books. You know, and he also told me that Esau was the devil, because my dad grew up I'm in a 60s baby, so he was in that era where they was rioting and stuff. And he always told me that the white man was the devil. So I don't know, my dad, he taught me a lot, and I really miss him. And it's really, really important for women to be connected to their dads, because, you know, they give you guidance. You know, the things that he said to me years ago, it does apply to my life today. And that's all I want to say. Thank you for this class.
All praise to the Most High. I like something she said in that, you know, she's a 50s baby, which means she got some age.
Right.
Which means that the things that she heard from her father, was taught of her father, still carry an effect up until, you know, today, which would be what, 50, 60 years old, something like that, whatever the age is. So that call alone shows you how important and how
detrimental,
not detrimental, how
important,
and there's another big word I'm looking
Imperative?
for. Imperative. We can go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
How imperative it is to have a father that is present, to not have a mother be an ostrich and tear her house apart, not be a home wrecker.
Right.
You do what you can to fix it. You figure it out. If not for you, if not for the husband and the wife, for them kids that are going to be affected for years to come.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Number 2. Do we want to go to this or we want to go to something else?
No, yeah. Let's go to the next one. We'll go out of this. And in fact, we're going to skip the next one because we're rounding down in time. Let's go to the next video.
So y'all know we got to do a part 2 of this one. We got to do a part 2.
Yeah, we got to do a part 2, and we'll include this other one in part 2 because it's a good one.
Sounds like a lot of sisters that hit home with them.
Yep.
Know?
Yes.
Yep.
So since I was born, my mom never wanted me around. She always had me bouncing from one friend to another friend's house. I moved back into my mom's house after she had her youngest son. Being the oldest one, she wanted me to take care of my younger sibling.
Pause right there real quick. Because I want you to notice quickly the detachment that she shows from her mother and from the other children in her house.
Right.
She said that when she finally moved back into her mother's house after her mother had her youngest son. She didn't even say after my mother had my brother.
Right.
She said after my mother had her youngest son.
Right.
So she's already showing you that she's developed a level of hatred and spite towards her mother, and she no longer looks at her mother as a woman or as a mother. She just looks at her as another female.
Right.
And that's going to reflect the issue or the relationship that she has with other females.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
also, she also said, ever since she was born, her mother never wanted her. You got to ask yourself, how do you know that? Right. How does she know that? That means her mom had to either show her that or tell her that she never wanted her from the time she was born.
Right.
That's heavy. And then, my bad. Second thing is, she
I'm
said,
mad at these haircuts.
Yeah, right. They always do Jake like this in the
I don't know what the
cartoons,
dude
bro.
with the red shirt got going on, bro.
Yeah, his stuff kind of look like mine, man. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about his haircut. Let's not talk about his. But another thing she said is her mom always made her watch the kids.
Right.
That's something you see a lot in the black community. An 8-year-old shouldn't be watching a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Right.
Nope. She shouldn't be doing that. She's still a kid.
Right. Right.
Hey, go to Isaiah 45. I mean 49 and 15. Isaiah 49 and 15. Because it seems like since she don't have these other kids, she forgetting about her oldest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's forgetting that she need nurturing and she need caring too.
Right. The book Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 15. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb?
So she's not having compassion on her daughter. She's not thinking about her daughter. You just want somebody to help you raise these bad-ass kids.
Right.
You ain't thinking about her daughter. Her daughter's looking like, listen, what about me? I still got stuff. You haven't even came to one of my band events. You haven't even came to anything at school.
Right.
For me. But you want me to raise your baby.
Right. Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee.
So that's what the Most High was saying. He was comparing us to a trifling mother.
Right.
Reno, go ahead. That's it.
I felt overwhelmed and pressured because I was only 10 years old at the time. Once I graduated from elementary school, I was excited to go to middle school, but instead, my mom decided to send me to Dominican Republic. When she sent me to Dominican Republic, she left me to my grandparents. She decided that I would come back when I was around 16 years old to try to have a good relationship with me. Everything worked out for a couple of months until I found out I was pregnant. It was a shocker for me as well as my mom, and that ruined the relationship we was trying to build.
Pause. She said her mom was upset because she was. Can we get Ezekiel 16:44? Because notice they never mentioned the dad. The dad was never around. The mom had her, then she left. Then she came back. The mom had 2 more kids. The whole time the man is not around. But then she get pissed off at the daughter because the daughter pregnant at, what she said, 16?
Right.
Hell, she was already a mama when she was 10.
Right.
Can we read that?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is the daughter.
So our sisters have to understand the things that they do, their daughters are going to reflect those same exact actions. So you can't be pissed when your daughter's a 16-year-old hoe. If you was a 24-year-old hoe, you know what I'm saying? The daughter going to do the same thing she's seeing.
Right.
Bring it out. Man, we ain't got no bombs tonight. We been hearing bombs. Man.
We got a couple. Yeah, we got a couple.
Bombs.
Yeah, they low.
They got black cats.
Damn. They got black cats. All right, let it play.
In the first place. After I had the baby, my relationship with my mother reminded me when I was 10 years old because I had to stay home and not only take care of my siblings, but as well as my child. So it was more complicated than it was before.
Bruh.
When I finally decided to go back to school,